Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our championship review for round 11. We have finished a 3-game week. Not only have we finished a 3-game week, we are up to international break. And here comes the managerial graveyard. We often get some changes now, and I think there's two names that are going to come up throughout the show. I won't stand on ceremony. You know the deal here with this show. We're going to go through each and every one of the 12 games, and I want to hear your views on each and every game. And I know we'll have people who are at these games as well, so stick your hand up and let us know what you saw. Before we get into that, let's say a big thanks to Russ, who was off at Burnley yesterday watching his lot Norwich. Was a forward, now a friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year. Russ is our fan sponsor for this review show, and we thank him very, very kindly. Please let me know that you can hear me, see me, hear me loudly, clearly. Say hello in the chat and get involved. Let's say some hellos. London W4, welcome. Ben, Mr. E, Ammett, Langley, James, Stephen, Rob, Aquatic, Daniel, Thomas, Alex, Lenny, David, Purple Bungalow, Morgan, Roberts. Hello to all of you. Ewan's just popped up there, so we'll read his out as well. And let's get into this right now as ever. Hello, Stuart. I promise I'll say hello to everybody. There we go. Could be here all night. As ever, we're going to go from highest ranked to lowest ranked games. But before we do that, let's just bang through our round 11 scores. And it was Stoke 1, West Brom 0, Coventry 4, Fulham 1. I think that's worth a woof straight away, isn't it? Barnsley 0, Millwall 1. That's probably worth an eek for Marcus Shop. Birmingham 0, Forest 3. Maybe an oof rather than a woof. Blackpool 2, Blackburn 1. Some good stories here. Bournemouth 2, Sheffield United 1. Cardiff 0, Reading 1. Ouch, Mick McCarthy. Derby 0, Swans 0. Hull 2, Borough 0. Wow. Luton 0, Huddersfield 0. Peterborough 2, Bristol City 3. And the other way around, QPR 3, Preston 2. So much to talk about. And we better go with our undefeated league leaders. Take a bow. Bournemouth, who have played out an undefeated first 11 games under Scott Parker. And get your comments in, please, guys, on Bournemouth 2, Sheffield United 1. Hands up if you're at the game as well. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from everybody, but really interested to hear from people who were at the game indeed. And let me just enlarge that a little bit. So for Bournemouth, it was Travers in goal. Smith, Cahill, Kelly, Zamira. Billing, who was my player to watch in my Football 365 preview. Lerma, Pearson, Christie, Solanke, and Anthony returns to the starting lineup after being rested in midweek. For the Blades, Olsen, Baldock, Egan, Davies, Stevens, Fleck, Norwood, Gibbs-White, Ndiaye, Osborne, and Sharp. So Blades have settled into a regular first 11 and a team shape. However, after having the indicators on to turn the corner, they have lost their last two. Comments in, please, guys. Comments. Let's have a look at the goals. And Sheffield United actually take the lead in this one. There is Morgan Gibbs-White on the near post in the 56th minute. Another assist for Billy Sharp, who is really enjoying playing at the top of a 4-2-3-1. And let me just give you a number. How many assists is that for Billy Sharp? It's at 4 assists and 3 goals in 9 appearances, or 9 starts rather, for Billy Sharp. Maybe there are more strings to his bows. He crosses it in. Gibbs-White just sweeps it in on the near post. Now, here we go. We're going to get some disagreement on this. So let's just go in right down the middle. So, Ender Stevens on Dom Solanke. Now, this was adjudged a penalty, and I cannot see a yellow card for Ender Stevens anywhere. Now, I know we're going to get some people who are going to say that's either a red card or that's outside the box as well. Obviously, on a still, I can't do it justice in terms of where the challenge starts, finishes, where Solanke goes down, etc., etc. What doesn't look good is it might even just be a red card in terms of a serious foul play, in terms of endangering the opponent. I'm not talking about denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. So complete hodgepodge of the rules. Because remember, if it's denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity outside the box, it's a red. Inside, if it's a deliberate challenge for the ball, it's a yellow. If it's serious foul play, it doesn't matter where it is. It could be in the tunnel or the dressing room. It's the red card, whatever happens. But is it outside the box is the question. Interesting one. Anyway, a penalty was given and no sanction for Ender Stevens. Dom Solanke sticks the penalty home. He's not afraid to take a penalty after being the one that goes down for it. And Solanke, who started all 11 games, has 7 goals. He has started the season like a house on fire, hasn't he? And here is the winning goal, and it's that guy I picked out. He's going to slide that one in. Phil Billing, just to keep you updated on the timeline, 56 Blades took the lead. Solanke equalised 62. Billing with what turned out to be the winner on 65. Another assist for Ryan Christie. So a good finish. He kind of slides in and manages to just poke it gently into the corner. Keep comments coming in. I can see lots of them coming in. I'll get to them ASAP. Look at the numbers. Only one shot on target for Sheffield United. Scott Parker will be happy with that. Big chances, though. Could have been more goals in this game. 4 big chances to 3. Most of the other metrics skew in Bournemouth's way other than the possession, but we have seen plenty of possession-heavy, not wins for Sheffield United. Brilliant start for Bournemouth. 25 points from 11. They are projecting a huge total as things stand, well over 2 points per game. The only team to be over the 2 point per game mark. So well done, Scott Parker. And also 8 conceded is the joint fewest in the league with bottom of the table Derby County. Look down there. Sheffield United, be interested to know what Blades fans' thoughts are, really, because I thought they'd turned the corner, but back-to-back defeats away at Borough and away at Bournemouth here. And 14th place, 12 points from 11. Look, the little run in the middle, that's what they want to be replicating. But, still capable of losing games here under Jokanovic. Right. Let's say thank you to Sean. €10 on the Super Chat. Thank you very, very much. Very, very kind indeed, Sean. Not the first time he's contributed as well. Right, let's get some comments in on this one. Thank you again. Thoughts on Watford are in a separate video, Eugene. You can check that out. Thank you, Kelborn. There you go. Ewan, could Bournemouth be a very good bet to go up automatically right now? Yes, you won't get great odds because they're top of the table, but there you go. Will, admittedly, it wasn't a penalty, but the contact carried on into the box. I think that's where the ref got it wrong. Stephen, outside, but still a red, presumably on the serious foul play argument then. Solanke shared a picture of a nasty gash. Yeah, I know, we've got to be careful, and I don't want to see anyone or Dom Solanke get hurt, but we mustn't judge a decision. I'm not saying Will's doing this, by the way. We mustn't judge a decision on the injury because that's often not the right way to do it, is it? It has to be on the foul. But yeah, it did look like a nasty one on Twitter. If contact continues in the box, there's a pen. Maybe I should have done 2 stills there. Bournemouth showed they can come from behind as well. Grit and quality. Ollie, thought this was one of our better performances this season. Pushed them hard. Poor decision cost us and shifted momentum. Take nothing away from Bournemouth. They will be hard to stop. Fouls like that often appear to the naked eye to be a yard further on than they really are. It's very difficult to tell, isn't it? Where's the offence? Because, someone slides in and, the slide is here and maybe the first bit of contact is here. The next bit of contact, maybe the key bit of contact, the last bit of contact, and then the player going down. I've outlined 5 different parts of a potential foul tackle there. So, yes. Lewis, Billing is the best midfielder in the league. The bloke is incredible. He's a fine player, Billing, and he's carrying on his good form from last season. Great stuff from you guys in the chat there. Some really good comments. We are going to move on to a game that I watched all of because it was our Friday night watch along. So please be upstanding for Stoke City who beat West Brom 1-0. Get your comments in on this one. Stoke 1, West Brom 0. Decent performance by Stoke and a first defeat for West Bromwich Albion. And probably a deserved win, I think most people would admit, for Stoke. The Albion team there, Johnston, Ajayi, Bartley, Townsend, Reach, Mowat, Livermore, Furlong, Robinson, Hugill, Grant. For the Potters, Davies, Wilmot, Suter, Chester, Timmon, Thompson, Allen, Smith, Powell, Vrancic, and Brown. And here is what happened. And for the second game running, watching Stoke at the Bet365, they created a ton of chances and only scored one goal. Fortunately for them, that one goal was enough to win a game. Some more penalty fun here as well. And yeah, here is Surridge. And this is one of those annoying ones where by the book, it's a penalty because he kind of pokes his leg around and takes the hit. But if we go back to probably why penalties were created, it's kind of not a penalty because he's kind of invented the infringement, hasn't he? He's like, if I can just touch that ball and go down. Johnston is clearly goal side of him and sort of shielding the ball, but it's clever from Surridge. If it goes for your team, you say, well done, he's brought the foul. If it goes against your team, you say, what a house. And yeah, you don't like it, do you? But Surridge misses the penalty. Good save by Johnston there because he dives past it, flips his left hand up. Now, if Sam Surridge can't finish, I know a man who plays for Stoke who, along with probably with most of the strikers here, is one of the best finishers in the league. And that is Nick Powell, who always scores neat and tidy, lovely goals. Here's another one. Beautiful finish, this one. Who was it? Was it Smith who dropped it down the line for Powell? And Powell lifted that beautifully. It was a great bit of theatre, watching it go over, spinning inside the near post. And when we look at the numbers, I think even our Baggies friends will probably admit Stoke good value for this, purely on that one stat there. 6 big chances to 0 in this game. So Stoke could have won this by more. Penalty aside, Surridge and Brown and Vrancic hit the bar. Plenty of chances. Good win for Stoke. All is not terrible at West Brom, obviously. First defeat of the season, 11 played. 9 goals conceded, 22 points, 2 points per game. I'm sure if I come back to West Brom fans at game number 22, and if they've got 44 points, then I'm sure they will be perfectly happy. So I think you have to kind of let West Brom away with losing that one on the basis of the fact it's their first defeat. But you do need to kind of look at Stoke as a bit of a threat, really. Good performance by them. And they are 4th in the table, just one shy of the fabled 2 points per game. Stoke on 21 points. And also, there's been a couple of games where Stoke fans have told me, well, look, we could have 2 points more, 3 points more already. So, look, I think both West Brom fans and Stoke fans are going to be pretty happy at game 11 here. Both trending very much in the right direction. Let's see your comments. Ewan says Stoke for the playoffs. Mr. E, I don't think Powell has ever been more effective than he has been with Stoke in the last season and a bit. He's fantastic, isn't he? And do you remember when he was at Crewe? I think he got like 25 in one season. Just a good finisher. Elena, good result for Stoke. Albion were poor. We'll be in, with a good shot this year if Powell stays fit. Yes, indeed. Matthew, Stoke are top 2 contenders once Campbell is fully fit. We've been bigging up Powell. Essentially, Campbell is their best player. And he's coming back. There you go, Mike. Campbell, there you go. Amma, everyone's mentioning the impending return of the brilliant Tyrese Campbell. Let's hope he can get back up to speed after a long injury because his output and his numbers were different gravy in a side that, frankly, were not as good as Stoke are this season for sure. So Campbell is exciting. Daniel, what a performance from Stoke. Never thought we would score, though. Wait till Campbell is back. There we go. Stephen, best performance since relegation. Excellent. Pivotal moment. The players became a team and the team reconnected with the fans. A biblical night. Just need a striker. I think there might be one coming back that we're hearing all about. Any other thought on West Brom, maybe? Anything on West Brom? No, not necessarily. I think you're all high on Stoke tonight. C. Powell was on Man United's, but yes, he was. I think Fergie signed him as well, didn't he? Lewis Vrancic, signing of the season. But honestly, Vrancic has surprised me. He's been better than I expected. In fact, I thought he was a little bit of a show pony at Norwich. Really skillful player, but never got trusted to go in their first team. And now he's like in central midfield for Stoke. He's running and he's tackling and key passes. He's doing great. Vrancic, I'll give you that. Lewis, I think a certain Blackpool forward might give you a shout for signing of the season. Maybe we'll do that in the international break. Right. Let's talk about Coventry, because it was Coventry 4, Fulham 1. And look, we big Coventry up loads this season. They've been really good, but it's perfect home record. But then they lost 5-0 to Luton, and it was all a little bit like, is it all going to come crashing down for Coventry? No, absolutely not. And Fulham, who thought were good value, and Mitrovic was irresistible against Swansea. Fulham are patchy still, aren't they? They're not stringing together not even two good results. I was going to say 2s and 3s good result. Look, 1 lost, drawn, 1 lost. So over those last 5 games for Fulham, 7 points. I mean, decent enough if you want to be mid-table, upper mid-table. But Fulham are expecting, 85 to 90 points minimum, aren't they? And at the moment, just slightly off it, aren't they? And what a win for Coventry. They did it with this lineup. Moore, Hyam, McFadzean, Clark, Salter, Martson, Sheaf, Kelly, Darbo, no Harmer, O'Hare, Gyökeres, what more can you say? And Godden in for Waghorn. Gazzaniga is the first name on the Fulham sheet there. Adoy, Mawson with a start there. Ream, Robinson, so no add Rabiot there. Onoma, more from him later. And Reed, Wilson, sorry, it was Harrison Reed in central midfield. Bobby Reed at 10. Cabano at wide left. Mitrovic up top. Still no Fabio Carvalho, who was one of the best players in the first month of the season. Let's have a look at this from Coventry then. And Fulham even take the lead there. Mitro and it's McFadzean, isn't it? Sort of pulling one another. Did honestly look a bit 6-1, half a dozen of the other here. And McFadzean heads into his own net. Even when he's not scoring, Mitrovic is forcing defenders to score own goals. It's half-time. It's 1-0 to Fulham. However, in the next 25 minutes, Cov are going to score 4 times, by God. Here is the first one, and it's a horror show between, I think, Ream and Onoma. You can see them both stood still knowing that they are well and truly screwed. Another goal contribution for Callum O'Hare, who squares it across, and we'll talk to a man with even better numbers than Callum O'Hare, but second assist of the season for O'Hare, who's doing well on the key passes and things of that nature, but would probably like to add goals and assists, although he's playing decent, isn't he? Victor Gyökeres, well, let's do his numbers after his second goal. So 1-1. Now, I think even Coventry fans would admit here, oh dear, that's a dive, isn't it, from Matt Godden. Now, don't get too emotional. I'm not saying anything about the player's character. I'm not saying anything mean about Coventry, who are very good. But I suspect Matt Godden might be in trouble on the retrospective deception of the official there, because Robinson clearly doesn't touch him. And it is a dive, isn't it? And again, Coventry probably still win the game. Don't get all emotional about it. I've got to call it as I see it. And it's just not a penalty. Is it? But what are you going to do? And Matt Godden himself steps up and sticks it in the back of the net, much to Anthony Robinson's disappointment there. And for the 500th time this season, if only we had a video referral system where we could check things like penalties and goals for incidents like that. Here is a lovely finish by Martson. He's going to absolutely drill that. I think maybe if Fulham fans were being hypercritical, Dennis Adoy, stand up straight, don't turn sideways on. But Martson properly leathers it in the corner, 3-1. And this is a good finish by Gyökeres. He's on the run. I think it's with Adoy again there. And it's just, can you hit it early? Any kind of contact? And he does, and he prods it. And it just rolls around Gazzaniga in the goal. And it's 4-1. An absolute blitz from Coventry. 9 goals and 2 assists in 11 games for Victor Gyökeres, who has now a goal every 103 minutes and a goal contribution better than every 90 minutes because he's only played 84 minutes per game. A sensational start to the season by Victor Gyökeres, who's well up there as well. I think Lewis was talking about signings of the season. I think Gyökeres might be up there too. Numbers tell us Fulham had 59% on the possession, 14-12 on the shots. Only one shot on target for Fulham in the game, which reads well for Cov. It's all quite tight other than that shots on target count and that big chances count. So well done, Cov. Play those penalty boxes. And who would have told me after 11 games, Coventry would have been above Fulham, having just beaten them 4-1. And let's just flash this up to do service to Coventry here. 18 points at home. 18 points already at home for Coventry. That is sensational. I mean, those people who want to rain on their strawberries might say, okay, you're scoring 18 out of 22 points at home and Gyökeres has got 9 out of 16 goals. But hey, let's enjoy it for Coventry. What a start to the season. Fulham, not quite where they would want to be, but this is very much like when Parker was there, not in terms of style, but in terms of narrative of whilst Fulham are in the playoff positions, they're 3 games away from promotion, aren't they? And I can't turn around and say, I said this about Parker the whole time. I said, whilst he's in the playoff positions, they can get in the playoffs and win them. And they did, in which case I say he did a good job. So, let's have a look at the comments here. Coventry Stoke will be a Christmas cracker. When is that one, CJC? Gyökeres has more goals than our team, and we turned him down. Oh, dear. Matt, Fulham showing they're beatable when not at it. Cov having a great season. Still dubious they can sustain it. The goalie is hapless, and we've got Rodak on the bench. Mick, we'll talk about Blackpool in a sec. Callum, Gyökeres has been called up to the Swedish national team. There you go. Matt, send me a DM. I've got a proposal for you for Monday or Tuesday if you're around, fella. 6 wins from 6 games. I think we follow each other on Twitter, don't we, Matt? I'll try and send you one. Gyökeres has been called up. There you go. What a response. Callum from Wednesday. Don't forget, they lost 5-0 on Wednesday. First half, not the best, but the second half was phenomenal. Godden's dive was silly. Thank you for a Coventry fan for admitting that. Mark's an incredible finish. And Victor, just magnificent. Do they still have retrospective bans for diving? I think it's 3 matches, actually, Mr. E. Someone correct me on that. I think you get a 3-match ban for deception of an official. Am I right about that, or is it 2? Never a pen, but can't complain. I think that's from a Fulham point of view. Amma, huge result for Coventry. The bounce back after the 5-0. There you go. It makes a neutral sit up and take notice, of course. Still confident Fulham will win the league. Things turn around. Carvalho and Tete back in the team. Time for Brian to come in for Robinson. Oh, I like Robinson, but maybe you're right. Joe, can't believe we are 3rd. If you include last 9, 38 from 20. There you go. Love that. Maybe you should have seen this coming since we finished last season. So, well, yeah, I had you going up a few places, but not this many, I have to say. Yes. What a performance from Coventry. This is why this league is so hard to predict. There you go. Coventry's last 2 results sum up the championship. Very unpredictable. Right. Let's go on. As usual, sorry, Mick, you've done another Blackpool comment, fella. We'll get on to, we'll talk about each team as we talk about their specific game. So don't get cross if I'm not mentioning Blackpool now. We will. Don't worry. But first, we've got to go QPR 3, Preston 2. Get your views in on this one. QPR are back up in the playoff positions. They've gone up, down a little bit, and then straight back up again. QPR 3, Preston 2. Get your comments in on this one, everybody. Here are your teams there. Dieng, Dickey, Dunn, Barbe. Dunn looks like he's played his way into this team now, doesn't he? Odebajo, Willock, left wing back, unbelievable. Victim of his own versatility there. Johansson, Ball, Chair, Gray, and Dykes. And for Preston, Iverson, Story, Bauer, Cunningham, Earl, Ledson, McCann gets a start, Vandenberg, Johnson, Reese, and Maguire. Let's have a look at some stills from this one. And here is the opening goal. And it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? It's like underneath the defender's leg there. Lyndon Dykes is going to prod his foot at that, and maybe an obstruction and a free kick there would have been the thing. Just sit on the ball, but Dykes manages to prod it through into the back of the net. Lyndon Dykes is the goal scorer there. Here is the equalising goal, and this one tinkles over the line, doesn't it? Maguire has played in Emil Reich. Reich hits the shot. I think the keeper gets a decent enough touch on it, and it just trickles all those fans behind the goal watching that one trickle over the goal line. Just quickly, 4 goals, 2 assists so far for Lyndon Dykes. I think it took him till after Christmas to get up to 6 goal contributions last season, didn't it? Here's a nice little tap in for Josh Earl. I think he's got a couple of goals just after half-time. That's where you want to see your left wing back, isn't it? Get forward if the ball's coming down the right-hand side. Well done, Josh Earl. That makes it, 2-1 to Preston. So not only is it QPR starting to get wins again, QPR starting to come from behind again. That's been their signature manoeuvre this season. That's the wrong picture. That's the right one, as Jimmy Dunn on the back post is able to poke that one home from the set play. And then, just 3 minutes later, here he comes. Ilias Chair, what a player. He's having a good little run as well, Chair, isn't he? Drills that one in low with the right foot. I think someone tweeted me saying, Ilias Chair in the rain. Like Michael Schumacher in the rain. There you go. 4 goals, 1 assist for Ilias Chair. So a goal contribution every other game now for Chair. That's picking up nicely for him. QPR 3-2 winners. Get comments in, everybody, on this one. Let's check the numbers, which do, well, I was going to say give some credence to the win. I mean, 19 shots to 11 for QPR, 9-5 on target, 7 corners to 3. But look at the big chances. I know Preston scored both of their big chances, but 2-1 in that regard. So maybe QPR are funny, aren't they? When they look like they're favourites to win a game and they record good numbers, they don't. And when they look like they're outsiders and they're coming from behind and the other team's recording good numbers, they tend to win. But there you go. They're in 6th. They're typical Warburton. And look, 22 goals for, 16 goals against, but 18 from 11. And they're back in those playoff spots. They just got to put to bed runs like they had. Okay, one of those games was at West Brom, and one of those games was against Bournemouth. So maybe that's the mitigating circumstance, that the run of 3 defeats was they were playing the top 2 in 2 of those games. Have I made sense of it? There we go. Right. What have we got in the chat on QPR? CJC, most points in 2021 for a reason. I assume you've deleted Norwich and Watford from that. But yes, obviously we can only use 18 teams in that stat, but you got to take it. Hey, Barber's performance yesterday Barber's was the best QPR performance I've ever seen live. Barber, help me out with that one. I don't know what spell check is doing there. What else are we saying on the Barbe? Callum, thank you. There you go. Our deck chair, outstanding. Yes, he is. Yes, he is indeed. Right, there we go. Mick, I'll get on to Blackpool in a minute. Good old Mick has put about 15 comments about Blackpool. We'll get to them. But we've got to do every game here. And who are we doing next, you lot? We are doing Huddersfield. Oh, this will be quick then, won't it? This is quite funny, actually, because we were doing the prediction show for Huddersfield-Luton. It was Luton 0, Huddersfield 0. And we were like, oh, this is going to be a high scorer that could go any way. And about 5 or 10 of you in the chat said, oh, nailed on 0-0 for this one. There you go. I hope you put that in your Football 365 predictor. It was a 0-0. I'll give you your teams and we'll look at a bit of the action. But maybe 2 of the more unpredictable teams giving us a nice, predictable, safe 0-0 clean sheet and a point each here. Sluga, Lockyer, Bradley, Naismith, Bell, Berry, Ray, Bree, Clark, Adebayo, Cornick for Luton. For Huddersfield, Nichols, Pearson, Lee, Sarr, Toffolo, Karoma, O'Brien, High, Thomas, Sinani and Ward were your teams. I think I've got a picture or two from this one. Does that look like the Kenny? I haven't labelled my pictures up. Yeah, it does. Big chance right in the centre of the goal there. We're very, very blurry there. Maybe someone can help me out. Definitely looks like Harry Cornick who's put the cross in, but I don't know who's blazing that one over from on the goal line. Hard to see. And this is Harry Toffolo. Can he just dink that over to the back post? Look at the back post, for goodness sakes. Who is that? Fraser Campbell arriving on the back post there. But no goals in this one. So, sorry, it's going to be a quick one. Put some comments in. Numbers say Luton were closer to winning there. 14 shots to 9, 3-2 on target, 6 corners to 4, 1 big chance to 0. Not a great deal in it, and honours even. And 2 of the more unlikely sides to keep a clean sheet. Both keep a clean sheet on the same day. Huddersfield, tip of the cap. They are 7th after 11 games. I had them, or I predicted them at the end of the season to be in the relegation zone. So well done, Huddersfield, proving me and many others wrong. Luton, I mean, our standards are high for Luton. We expect them to be up there in the top half now, and they are just 1 place shy of it. You see they're only 1 defeat in 5. And for those of you that love XG, the XG is projecting Luton to have been scoring far more goals than they have. So that will either come down or Luton's goals are going to start to go up. We will see if we can trust that lovely old statistic. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Jacob, absolute battle of a match. Both teams had chances to score. Don't think the weather helped. No, it absolutely didn't. You, most surprising scoreline of the weekend, probably. Zuz, says Anna. Ben had it as a 1-1. There you go. You still get the outcome correctly. Luton look good against Bournemouth. I'd be surprised if they don't end up in the top half. Yeah, I think that's probably where they're headed. Right. Does somebody want to tell, who was it in the chat? Does somebody want to tell Mick that we're doing Blackpool now? Fill your boots, Mick. We're doing Blackpool, who, fantastic run for Blackpool, and they win again. And I have to say, in the preview show, and we'll try and dig out a clip of this, I predicted 2-1 and that both Brereton and Lavery would score. Okay, that's going with the players in form at the moment. But speaking of in form, Blackpool have 10 points in the last 4 games. Outstanding stuff from Critchley and Blackpool. Here are your teams. Maxwell, Sterling, Ekpotata, Keogh, Garbutt, Bowler, Dougal, Wintle, Anderson, Medine and Lavery. For Rovers, Kaminsky. Oh, God, that's a new one on me. Magloire, right back. Pronunciation pending. Ayala, Carter, Pickering, Travis, Rothwell, Gallagher, Buckley, and the superstar, Ben, Brereton, Diaz with Tyree Stolen, we think, playing up the middle. Woof. And here is another win for Blackpool. Here's the opening goal, and it's that man, Lavery, who is just in fantastic form. Got to be one of the signings of the season for sure, hasn't he? 7 starts, 5 goals for Shane Lavery. This one, to be fair, does take a bit of a deflection, spoon up, but he is in the right place, in the right time, and he is in the goals, for goodness sake. Lavery, what a start for him. And probably even better news for Blackpool, because they would have had more of their hopes pinned here on Jerry Yates. Lavery has to come out after 22 minutes, having given them the lead on 4 minutes. And Yates comes in and gets the second. And if you wanted an even more predictable goal scorer, there he is at the back post. He is just a goal machine at the moment. Ben Brereton Diaz cannot stop scoring. Can he? Another one for him. He wouldn't have wanted the international break to come, especially if he's got to go away with Chile and quarantine afterwards. I don't think he's going, is he? He has got 10 goals in 11 starts. That is a goal every 99 minutes for Ben Brereton Diaz. What a start to the season. We got some strikers in form here, haven't we? Let's check the numbers in this one. It ended Blackpool 2. Blackburn 1, and if I'm a Blackburn fan, I'm stacking them up. 16 shots to 8, 6-3 on target. and thinking, we got diddled in this one, got behind early and couldn't come back. Only 2 big chances in the game for Blackpool. Look, obviously, stats never reflect game state. And if you told me, look, I didn't see all 90 minutes of this game. If you told me Blackpool went 2 up and were able to then sit off a bit, then that would make sense why those numbers are like they are. It's not always a hard luck story. But I suspect both of these clubs will be very, very happy with where they are in the league. Blackburn in 8th, although if they'd scored even 1 win out of those last 2 defeats they've had against Huddersfield and against Blackpool, they would be in the top 6. But 8th is great for Blackburn, and they've got a striker smashing the goals in every 99 minutes, as we just said. Blackpool, outstanding. Top half of the table, 15 points from 11. And I don't think they won any of their first 5 or 6 games either, did they, Blackpool? So they've come on a very good run. And if last season's anything to go by, keep an eye on Blackpool when they go on a good run, because their good run at the end of last season lasted about 30 games and took them all the way through the playoffs and into the Championship. Right. Can I read one of Mick's comments? Where is he? I want to get to him first. There he is. Well done, Mick. Great fun banter for the beautiful game. Pull her back. We'll finish top 10. There you go, Mick. Congratulations, my friend. Your team is doing you blooming proud at the moment. Lavery on a free transfer as well. What a signing. Hey, sensational stuff. Harry, Blackpool too good to go down in his table predictions. I think I had them highest of the 3, I have to say. But any truth in the rumour that Manchester City's Ruben Diaz has changed his name to Ruben Brereton Diaz? That's tremendous. Got to be true, hey? Ben, Rovers didn't get off the bus first half. Really missing Lenihan at the back. Lone players not doing it at the moment. But still, good position in the table. And everyone wants a striker banging the goals in, don't they? So we'll see. Didn't expect Blackpool to go down, but I didn't think they'd be doing as well as they are. And after the major problems Blackpool have had, great to see them doing good again. Wonder who would have predicted Brereton, Diaz and Gyökeres to be not me in the slightest. No, I'm not gonna be wise after the event on that. Mark, Blackpool proving a lot of people wrong at the moment. Good on them, absolutely. Fair play to Little Blackpool. Don't call them Little Blackpool. There we go. Mick hasn't left his bias at the door. Go on, Mick. He's having a lovely old time in the chat, and why not? Hey, like someone said in the chat there, after what those Blackpool supporters have been through. Right, have I done 6 games yet? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've done 6. So I'm just going to quickly run the Champ 365 advert, and I will be back in 30 seconds' time. I might even pour myself a little glass of wine. If you're enjoying this show, then why not check out Championship 365?
The only area to find Benjamin Bloom, the Second Tier Podcast, and myself, Ben HD, all in the same place.
We'll debate the key topics and interact with you, our community of subscribers.
And we'll be releasing 2 exclusive weekly videos.
So, visit www.network.planetsport.com.
Championship 365, 3 creators, 1 community.
There you go. Catch up with Ben HD and Ryan or Justin or both from the Second Tier every Tuesday. So you can go and get involved with that. It is behind a paywall, so only if you feel that you can. But it's a great little link up between the 3 of us over on the Planet Sport Network. Right, where are we going next, you? I think we're going to... It's not called London Road anymore, is it? What is it called? The Western Homes Stadium, I think. Isn't Colchester Stadium called the Western Homes? Anyway. And another away win for Bristol City. They should be quite happy that their away form is so good and their home form is so bad. Bristol City are top of the table for away form and 3rd bottom of it for home form. But hey, needs must. Just win. And that they did with an 84th minute goal from Chris Martin in this one. Here's your posh team. Cornell, Thompson, Edwards, Kent, Butler, Ward, Norburn, Coventry, Burrows, Dembele and Schmodic. No Clark Harris in that lineup. For Bristol City, Bentley, Tanner, Callas, Atkinson, Pring, King, James, Williams, Vyman, O'Dowda and Chris Martin. And let's get into this. And I'm sure plenty of Bristol City fans had a bet on Sam Smodic to score the opening goal in this game. And they would have been disappointed that he did, but they would have probably been cashing their check. And great goal by Smodic, bends that one in. I actually think he drills it, doesn't he, with the right foot there. Smodic gives Posh the lead on 22. But we're going to get a quick bang here from Bristol City. First off, on the back stick, that is, well, it's gone down as an own goal for Nathan Thompson. It looks like Atkinson climbing. Let me know what you think on that. Anyway, here comes George Tanner. This is a really good goal, actually, because I think we get one of these last week in the Coventry game. This one's even more difficult, actually, because the ball kind of comes out and he's got to guide it first time. It's a really good finish by Tanner, who looks like a good signing coming from Carlisle. We thought he might be a project. No, playing, contributing. Good on him. Where are we going? Have I got the right picture? There he is again. Smodic nods in from Butler's cross for 2-2. But here comes, it's the year 2050 and Chris Martin's still playing in the Championship and scoring. A decent finish that with the right foot from the edge of the box. Williams with the assist. Martin with the goal. He runs off to those Bristol City fans who are very happily celebrating a fourth away win of the season. Tremendous stuff. 4 big chances to 1. Play the penalty box, as we always say. 15 shots apiece, 10 corners to 5, 7 shots to 3 on target. Despite it coming late, I'm sure I'll have Bristol City fans telling me it's a viable win. And the Posh, well, a little bit disappointing because we've been putting our hopes on their home form, haven't we? And that's a second, I know it's not as late as the defeat against West Brom, but a second late home defeat where they'll feel, the Posh fans, that they could have got something from the game. So Bristol City in 9th, completely propped up by their brilliant away form. How many points they got? 16. And 12 of them away from home. So a little bit like Coventry, where all bar 4 points have been scored in one direction. Peterborough, well, they're in the bottom 3, second bottom. And in terms of results, they're the worst team in the league because obviously Derby would be, where would they be? They'd have 14 points. Derby would be up there with Luton. They'd just be behind Luton on goal difference, wouldn't they? So, yeah, away form needs a look at. Maybe need to have a word with Bristol City about the away form. Jeff, you legend. Thank you. A £5 super chat. Oh, there you go. Cole just said it's called the Job Serve, not the Western Homes. Was it ever called the Western Homes? There you go. Right, where are we going? Let's go here. Liam, top of the away league table. Such a weird league, isn't it? You've got to love it. Gonna have to go some away games to see a City win. Yeah, great determination to find the winner. Finally seeing the best of Joe Williams. Yes, indeed. Annie, that feels like a massive win. Good reaction after Millwall. We're top of the league away. You're right, mentality shift from Holden. There you go. Because we're not seeing much else other than a bit more grit, bit more fight. And they are doing it, aren't they? Well played, Bristol City. Matthew, 3-2, probably flattering to Peterborough. I mean, the big chance count does suggest that, but there you go. Peterborough was soft. Took advantage of that. Williams is outstanding. Masengo, Williams, James in the same midfield is scary. Woof. Right. Let's move on. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, Mick McCarthy. And well done, Paunovic. Let's move on to Cardiff 0, Reading 1. And my God, there are some stats from this one. Let me just read out Jeff's comments because he gave me a super chat. Thank you, Jeff. Considering our injury problems, again, great 3 points on the road. Again, 100%. Agree with that. Right, sorry. Cardiff 0, Reading 1. Get your comments on this one. And we were hopeful for the job security of Mick McCarthy and of Marcus Schopp that one of those guys at least would get a win this weekend. We'll move on to Barnsley in a bit, but they both lost. Ouch. Ouchie ouch. Sorry, I'm just looking on the other screen because I know there's going to be a hilarious, well, not hilarious if you're a Cardiff fan, XG number for you to see. We'll see if we can get that up on the screen. Oh, my God, that is gnarly. Oh, dear. Anyway, let's do the teams first. Smithies in goal for Cardiff. McGuinness, Flynn, Nelson, Brown, Rules, Pack, Bakuna, Brown. So Bowen, and Brown, excuse me. Can't read. Giles and Moore makes a start. For Reading, thank goodness, Liam Moore back at centre-back. So Southwood in goal, Yidem, Moore, Josh Laurent still central midfielder playing in centre-back. Rahman, Drinkwater, Deli Bashiru, Hoylett, Swift, Ejaria, Puskas. And we said it a million times. Reading, for all they haven't got, they do have some technically. Halilovic, Ejaria, Swift, Hoylett, Zhao. Maite maybe is a bit more power than technique, but do have some technically very good players who are capable of scoring very good goals, which they just keep doing, don't they? And here comes a bit of a Schuhaus win, you would have to say, even if you were a Reading fan. Where's the goal then? That looks like it. And there is Junior Hoylett from, and we'll bring this XG up, from an XG of 0.09, which I feel is going to be Reading's only shot of the game, and they're going to score from it. And Hoylett drills it in. Of course, Junior Hoylett was promoted with Cardiff and Neil Warnock. And, you tell me in the chat, is that it for Mick? They are on a horrible run. I think that must be 6 defeats from 7. And look at the numbers. 27 shots to 2. 27 shots to 2. Okay, only 5 on target, but Reading had 1 shot on target and conceded 27 shots and won the game. Okay, I acknowledge that Cardiff only made 1 big chance, but that is a gnarly defeat. Let me just pop this up because it might amuse some people. Here is the shot map on Infogol. Can you see that? 0.09 XG for Reading. Little blob there where Hoylett scored. And Cardiff, okay, not massive high-quality chances, but still, you don't want to be losing that game with those numbers, do you? That is a tough one for Mick to take, and maybe the type of performance that comes at the end of someone's managerial tenure. Reading, brilliant. Look at that, 12 points in the last 5. They're on 16 from 11. Okay, we keep doing this. Take off 6. If they were to get a 6-point deduction, they'd be on 10. They would be below Cardiff. In fact, they'd be 4th bottom. Take off 9 points. They would have 7, and they would be only above Derby. So there's good news for Reading that they're having a good bash at this in the probability that they may get a points deduction. They've got no defenders, and they're still scoring goals and winning games. So maybe I'd buy the argument that they could, like Birmingham did, they could be fine with a points deduction. For Cardiff, it's bad. 11 points from 11 games. But the problem is that the recent run is, I think, 6 defeats from 7. So they've basically got 3 points from the last 7 games. And if you've watched me for a while, you will know I judge 1 point per game as survival form. So it's survival form for the entirety of the season, but it's relegation form for the majority of the season because 7 games with only 3 points. We can take whatever sample size you like. Cardiff are on a really crappy run, aren't they? Let's see what you guys are saying. Mick changed his keeper. We normally say that's the final Hail Mary from a manager. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Good spot, Alex, before they get fired, don't they? There we go. Daylight robbery, but Southwood is exceeding expectations. Will he keep the shirt? I think Raphael was back on the bench, wasn't he? McCarthy doesn't deserve the boot after that performance. Halilovic injured. Yidem limped off. Well, there's 2 weeks, Callum. 2 weeks for Reading. McCarthy is very close to being sacked. The Newport manager, lots to talk about Michael Flynn. Fair play to Hoylett for not saying, I'm never bothered about these things, Annie. It's your job. You know, if you love the club so much, you wouldn't leave them, would you? But, you got to go and do your job. I haven't got a problem with anybody celebrating any goal. What else are we saying? Apparently, the Cardiff bosses are backing him. James says, surely Mick has to be sacked now. McCarthy on his last legs. Morgan says 0.05. Use whatever XG numbers you like. We've got 0.09 on Infogol, but look, they didn't create many chances and they won the game. I think we can agree on that. Mick got to be in trouble now. Happened to Hugh. Look, it's a real canary in the coal mine. Managers swapping out their keepers tends to be a Hail Mary, a last hurrah, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, will that be Mick's last hurrah? We'll find out over the next 2 weeks. Look, you can probably tell after 3-4 days if he's still in there. Same with Shop. They're sticking with them until the next international break, which is November 13th, that weekend. But I still think we get a fair few rounds of games in that. I think it's only about a 4-week run, isn't it? Right, where are we going next, guys? We've got to do Millwall. What do I always say about Rowett and Millwall? Yeah, only ever a couple of wins away from, it being a good run and all the draws racking up into some undefeated streak or whatever. And all of a sudden, after all the draws, Millwall have won 2 on the bounce, which means, let me add this up, in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, Millwall are undefeated and have scored 13 points. So all of a sudden, it always happens with Rowett. You go from saying he can't win a game to, got 13 points in 7. That's all right, isn't it? So, and we thought they were going to do it. I predicted 1-0 in this one. I must have done quite well on my Football 365 predictions, mustn't I? Here are your teams. It was Barnsley 0. Millwall 1. Collins in goal for Barnsley. Moon, Hellick, Kitching, Williams, Styles, Palmer, Britton, Iseka, Woodrow, and Devante Cole starts. Interesting. For Millwall, Białkowski, Ballard, Hutchison, Cooper back in the starting 11. Wallace, Murray, that is, Saville, Evans, McNamara, Wallace, Jed, Ojo, and Benik Afobe. And it is an 89th minute winner. And yeah, you're struggling if you're Marcus Shop in this type situation. Here comes Murray Wallace, going to power that one in from a Jed Wallace cross. And it is all 3 points for Millwall. Let's have a look at the numbers. It's tight, isn't it? It's an 89th minute winner, but look at the numbers as well, 17-14. Okay, 7 shots on target for Millwall is a lot, isn't it? 7 corners to 5, 1 big chance a piece. Look, Millwall, 13 shots inside the box. So I'm sure we'll have Millwall fans tell me, look, we were good value, Ben. And who am I to tell them they are wrong? And like I said, 13 points in 7 games from Millwall. If they get 13 points from the next 7, they'll have 28 points from 18 games. And they'll probably be, if not in the top 6, 1 or 2 places outside it. So it swings and roundabouts with Rowett, isn't it? And some form approaching, we think, or they're already in it. Barnsley are in terrible form. And the obvious stat, which we look at every week with Barnsley, 7 goals scored. Nobody has scored fewer goals in the Championship this season than Barnsley, and they are in the bottom 3. We're going to talk about Hull's win in a minute, thanks to that victory from Hull. The natives are restless. They are not very happy with Mr. Shop for the chop. Possibly. What are we saying in the chat? On this one, John, have I got to give it Mill? Mill. There we go. I don't want to do it straight down the mic. Murray Wallace should be called up for the Scotch. I suppose Robertson and Tierney are quite good, aren't they? Davey didn't have to go near the town hall steps. Shop out. Hutch back for Bristol City and Barnsley. 2 clean sheets. Coincidence? Probably not. Alex, probably not. Daniel, time for him to go. Club is a shambles at the minute on and off the pitch. Goalkeeper coach. Yeah, I did see that. Do you know, I was talking to a Man United fan yesterday about Kevin Pilkington, and he's left from Barnsley, hasn't he? Leaving before, physio leaving. Britain's interview post-match. Send me a link to that, Daniel. I'll give it a watch. James Pullen, the ex-Ipswich goalkeeper. Shop is my bet next to be sacked. Wallace immense at left wing back. No Scott Malone. Ben not working for Shop. Can't see him lasting much longer. Rouge Lion, disappointment at a poor predictor. Was offset by 3 for Millwall. I think I had Millwall 1-0 as well, Rouge Lion. So there you go. Least amount of wins for Barnsley in the whole league. These are not numbers you want to be hearing, Anir, if you are a Barnsley fan, especially after their frankly brilliant season last time out. Let's talk about another team that had a brilliant season last time in League One, Hull. And by God, Hull got a win and they scored twice in a match for the first time since opening day at the expense of Neil Warnock's Borough. Hull 2, Borough 0. Hull 2, Borough 0 in this one. Here are your teams. Ingram, Bernard, Jones, Greaves. Get your comments in. Lewis Potter at wing back. Goodness me. Smallwood, Cannon, Josh Emmanuel. Moncur, Smith and Eve. So they're getting a front 2 in there. Maybe the expense of how far up the pitch Keane Lewis Potter gets, but they won the game. Go figure. So expect that system to stay right where it is. For Borough, Lumley in goal, Peltier, Bamba, Fry, Boller, McNair, House and Tavernier, Crooks, Watmore, Sporar, and it is a 2-0 victory for Hull in this one. And both goals coming in the final 10 minutes. Bit of a lucky one, I think. Forgive me, that's a blurry picture. I can't see who's taken that shot. What I do know is it's a great strike on the volley. Someone tell me in the chat. Smashes off the post and then hits, who's the Borough keeper? Lumley on the back of the head and flies in the goal. So unlucky that the volley hit the post, but then extremely lucky where it then bounced and went afterwards. And here's one for your goal of the round contenders. This is a superb goal by Malik Wilkes, who runs from inside his own half to say onside, carries the ball outside, inside, and you don't get to see where he puts that. Gives the keeper the eyes, left-footed, in off the right-hand post. A great goal by Malik Wilkes. Please, I know you're going to do what you always do and just vote for the team you support, but have a look at that one for goal of the round if I'm not influencing the votes here. A dodgy poll for sure. Neil Warnock's going to be furious with those numbers, isn't he? 2 big chances to 1, 6 corners to 2, 17 shots to 9, 4 shots on target to 2. And I reiterate, Hull had 2 shots on target and won 2-0. Remember, one of the goals was an own goal. But for God's sake, Hull needed a win, didn't they? Warnock, very, very spotty at Borough. They really need to pick up some kind of run coming up towards Christmas now to make something of this season, don't they? They're 12 points from 11, so they're just over a point per game. Hull are 9 points from 11, and they're not far off a point per game. And considering Hull went like 10 years without scoring and 10 games without a win, they'll probably be fairly happy under the circumstances to be out of the bottom 3 and just shy of where we think you need to be, 45 to survive. You'd want 10 minimum if projections roll out, at the same rate as, extrapolations are worth anything. So well done, Hull. Let's have a look here. And here, predicted a 1-0 Hull. Wilkes had to ruin that, didn't he? It's a great goal, to be fair. Lenny, who was there. Fair play to McCann for switching to a 3-5-2. Keane Lewis Potter, left wing back masterclass. I don't like it, Lenny. I want him up the pitch, scoring goals and stuff. But hey, as I say, they won the game. Borough wasteful. Ingram's best game for the club. Josh Emmanuel outstanding, but never good enough to get in at Ipswich, apparently. And here he is in the Championship. Great to see Wilkes finally fit and scoring. Tremendous stuff. Thank you, Keane Lewis Potter with the shot. Thank you very, very much. Another day, Sporar takes the match ball home. Oh, was he not having his shooting boots on? James, disappointing result for Borough. Fair play to Hull. After Tuesday, I was hoping we could go and win. Hoping this international break will help massively. Yeah, agreed. No consistency for Borough, says Ben. I don't know what Warnock is going to try and do, turn the losses into wins. Some chance of sacked in the morning when Hull. That's not good. Is it? Warnock could be in trouble, says Peter. And yes, I agree. Mark, unpredictable. Borough, it is a bit all over the place. Right, here we go then. Stevie Cooper. Birmingham 0, Nottingham Forest 3. Anyone have 3-0 on the predictor game? Goodness me. I think I had them to win, didn't I? But that's a bit of a hammering for Steve Cooper and Forest. And yeah, they are just flying up the table at the moment. Forest, that is 10 points in 4 for Forest and 7 points in 3 for Steve Cooper. What a start. But Birmingham are just on a gnarly run, aren't they? 1 point in the last 5. Only Cardiff have fewer points in the last 5 than Blues. And the team they went with was Sarkic, Roberts, Dean, Pedersen. Looks like they've gone back to the 3-5-2 with Colin and Bella at wing-back. Sunjic, Wood, Chong. He's dropped off, hasn't he? He started the season like he was going to rip this league to pieces. Hogan and Jutkiewicz. No Dini in the starting lineup. For Forest, well, they're all having a lovely time, aren't they? Samba in goal, Worrell, Figueiredo, McKenna, Lowe and Spence. Yates, Colback makes a start. I assume Garner out there. Zinkernagel and Johnson, who are loving life. Lewis Grabban starts up top after me joking about Steve Cooper wanting and never having a striker and then not playing Lewis Grabban. He sticks him in. And what a goal by Lewis Grabban. Have a look at this one for your goal of the week as well, because he's actually carried that from over on the left wing, nearer to halfway. Drives in, and what a shot. He absolutely just leathers it into the top corner. Sarkic ain't getting that one. Lovely goal by Grabban. Here's the second, and Birmingham will be so disappointed with this one. Zinkernagel corner. Sorry. Zinkernagel corner, I'm right. And Yates just gets the run and heads it in. And Dennis Adoy scored the same goal from the same position from a corner at the same end a few weeks ago. It's difficult in the Championship, but can you defend corners? It would help, wouldn't it, for Lee Bowyer there. And here comes Jed Spence, and the Borough fans are none too happy about how well he's doing. He's been loaned out from Borough to Forest. And Zinkernagel, another assist from the guy I said, he's a numbers guy. He might not do much tackling, but he'll stick numbers on. Can I be smug? I was right. 2 goals, 4 assists already for Zinkernagel in 8 starts. And yeah, who cares about that? What about 10 points in 4 games? You'll take that all day long if you're a Forest fan. Although Birmingham, and we had this in the game against Fulham, didn't we? Where Birmingham actually created some stuff, a fair amount by the look of it, and ended up losing by 3 goals. Same again here. Look, 2 big chances created, 18 shots taken, 0 goals. Did get 1 goal against Fulham, I guess, didn't they? But Forest and Cooper doing the business. Let's have a look at the table. And Forest are in 17th place now. They've gone from bottom under Houghton, and in those 4 games, they have jumped up. They only had 1 point prior to that, didn't they? Who did they draw against? Drew against Derby, didn't they? And they are flying up the table. Are they going to score 10 points every 4 games? No. Frankly, they'll win the league if they do for the rest of the season. But very encouraging for Forest. Not very encouraging for Birmingham. I'd be interested to know. I think we've got John on the roundtable tomorrow night, so he'll smarten me up. What's going wrong there? We thought Bowyer may have found the formula. But, well, there you go. A big drop-off here. Right. Where are we going here? New manager bounce. I don't believe it, Alex. Don't believe it. New manager bounce. There you go. I thought Deeney would galvanise the Blues. Had the opposite effect, seems to have. Scary on the counter. Zinkernagel and Johnson. Hey. Yeah, Mike, I won't read that one out. Wouldn't want to play Forest at the moment. Looking like a team that's played together for a long time. They haven't, but they're looking like one. I do agree with that. There you go, Mick. Great and knowledgeable. We try and avoid the banter, Mick. Try and keep it down the line. People get a bit emotional with the banter, don't they? So there you go. But thank you for tuning in. We do look lethal on the counter, says Sven. Two things making Forest fans happy. Attacking football. Swansea fans will be interested in that view. They were complaining about the opposite. Forest was suppressed under Houghton. We're now playing the way we're always capable of. There you go. Or is it just the new manager bounce, Robert? Hey, it's always more complex than that, isn't it? Houghton said we didn't have the players to play a formation other than 4-2-3-1. Oh, dear. There you go. Too many fills. Brom unlucky not to score. I have heard this. Indeed. Playoffs only 7 points away. There you go. So keep calm, Dylan. All keep calm. Maybe we'll talk in another 10 games or something. Right. Millwall 7 unbeaten. Flying under the radar? Absolutely not, Martin. Watch this show. No one flies under the radar because we're here every round and nothing gets past our chat as well. Our radars are switched on, and our radars said our last game here was going to be a low scorer. Derby versus Swansea, 0-0. I think I put 1-0 Derby in the end. But Derby, nobody has conceded fewer goals in the Championship this season than Derby County. And for all of I say this every week, for all of the chaos and nonsense, 3 defeats in 11, a good defensive record. In the past 5 games, Derby have got 8 points. So if you are hitting 1.5 points per game, and we've added this up many times now for Derby, there are now 35 games to go, and they probably need to score another 43 points. At this rate, without a further deduction, or more injuries, they will do it. But those are some very, very big ifs. No more injuries and without another deduction. Anyway, they got another point on the board here by playing Allsop, Byrne, Stearman, Davies, Forsyth, Shinnie, Bird, Knight, Morrison, Lawrence and Stretton. For Swansea, Hamer, Cabango, Norton, Manning, Latibodia, Downs, Grimes, Bidwell, Smith, Patterson and Pirro. I think I've got a couple of stills from this one, but again, 0-0. Well, that's Jed Spence, in fact. I've got one still. Who's that going through? Tom Lawrence? I can't quite see. But look, not much to report back. Let me know if you're at the game and you'll stick a bit more meat on the bone here. What do the numbers tell us? Look, the numbers tell us that Swansea had 76% of the ball. So for every 4 passes, 3 of them were completed by Swansea in this game. But they only had 2 shots on target in the game. So a familiar lament for Swans fans. No big chances for Derby. 1 for Swansea. Look, it's a team in Derby that seemed to defend well against a team in Swansea that seemed to progress the ball, but not particularly attack too decisively. So we're not surprised it ended 0-0. For the Swans, look, it's Russ Martin's first 11. He's got 11 points from it. They're on for survival. They're projecting 46. Normally, 45 to survive is enough on the basis of the average for the last 10 seasons. However, Swans fans are used to 4th place and 6th place in the last 2 seasons. So they'll hope. And look, when you see a side like Swansea having 76% possession all the time, there's always this thing in your back of the mind. What if they click and they start turning into that possession into chances and big chances and goals? Because that would be scary if they do. But there's no sign of that happening just yet, is there? And Derby, again, I'm repeating myself, but Rooney doing a very, very decent job. I think now the Rooney derangement syndrome has been replaced with the fact that the club's an absolute basket case and everyone knows it, despite the fact watchers of this channel knew it for a long while because we actually keep our ear to the ground. They're doing fine. And on form, as we keep saying, they would be... we've already done this today, haven't we? They'd be up with Luton, be behind Luton on goal difference. So remember, when we were doing this last year with Sheffield Wednesday and the -6, people kept telling me, Ben, the -6 doesn't matter. They would still be in the relegation zone without it, which why I still find it quite annoying where people say, oh, Sheffield Wednesday were relegated because of a points deduction. And I'm kind of like, no, they went into the last game knowing if they won, they stayed up. You know, you can't lose that game and then blame the points deduction, can you? So, I think if you get minus 12, maybe you have more of a case for blaming it. But there you go. What are we saying here? I love comments, Lewis, that start with Ben, you were right. About the low block and XG, we don't give away. Exactly. So we were hypothesizing about Derby that they do give away a fair amount of XG. But I said that could be because they concede a lot of chances, but low quality chances, long range shots. They've got plenty of players in the way, etc. And that does seem to be the case. They do defend well. Good chance Derby squad will be decimated in January. Yeah, totally agree. QPR forever. They need a buyer. Surely a club the size of Derby can get a buyer. Surely. Rooney said Bielik after the international break. That would be great news. We'd love to see him back. If Derby could finish, they would have won comfortably. We need a striker. Well, Ewan, we've been saying this a long while, and obviously Marriott went out and Kazim Richards. It's felt like they've needed a striker for the longest time. Bungalow, dominant performance, arguably best 45 I've seen by Swansea in the first half, creating quality, but yet again let down by the last touch. Still happy seeing the progress. And I keep saying, Purple Bungalow, what happens if it clicks? Because that big chance count will be going up to 3 and 4 per game if it does click. Remember, Rooney had a good defensive record. Yes, he did, Annie, and everyone gave the credit to Steve McLaren and Liam Rossini, didn't they? Steve McLaren's gone now, so maybe that one can go out the window. But Liam Rossini, hey, maybe we will see. Swansea swamped this first 20-30. Rooney changed it tactically. We were much better in the second half. Had chances to win it. Swansea, for all off the ball, created hardly anything clear cut. Woof. There you go. Let's just have a quick reprise of the table. Then we're going to do team of the round and goal of the round. So, Bournemouth, top. Let me wind that down. And undefeated. Well played. We got another 2 teams on 2 points per game. West Brom and Coventry, for goodness sakes. Wow. Stoke looking good. Fulham, patchy. QPR getting back round to it in the top 6. Our second quartile. Huddersfield, fair play. Blackburn, fair play. Bristol City with that away form. Woof. Reading, fair play. Millwall getting back up there. Blackpool, fair play. So we must have some teams underneath, if I keep saying fair play, that maybe are underachieving a little bit here. Luton in the bottom half. We suspect they may end up higher. Sheffield United, we strongly suspect they may end up higher. Borough, Birmingham, Forest, Preston, bottom 6. Swansea, Cardiff. I think there's a derby match between those two not long after international break. That could be a big one. Hull, bottom 3. Barnsley, Peterborough, and with a 12-point deduction, Derby County. Woof. Right. Are you ready for... which one should we do first? I think we do team of the round. Okay, let's do this. Team of the round. And I plead, let's have a credible poll. Please only vote for your own team if you've analysed all the other teams and you still think yours is the team of the round. Don't just go, oh, my team played well. They're the team of the round. Come on, let's get a better poll and find out what the group think is on team of the week. So, look, vote for your own team by all means, but please leave your bias at the door, else this segment is totally pointless. I might as well just say which team you support. Let's have a look at who you could go for. You could go for Stoke and their win over West Brom. Great win from them. You go for Coventry. Wow. You go for Millwall. Back-to-back wins. You go for Forest. Big away win for Forest. You go for Blackpool. Keep surprising everyone. You go for Bournemouth, undefeated and top. You could go for Reading, who won against Cardiff with an XG of 0.09. You could go for Hull. A much-needed win for Hull City. You could go for Bristol City, who won late. There's loads of contenders this week. Or you could go for QPR. Let me know who you think. Again, please consider who you think is the best team. Don't automatically vote for your team. You may think I'm patronising you in saying that, but believe me, it really needs to be said. I do this every week, and it absolutely needs to be said. Who are you going for? Stoke, Coventry, Millwall, Forest, Blackpool, Bournemouth, Reading, Hull, Bristol City, or QPR? Let's see if we get any type of consensus in here. Right, here we go. Cov, Stoke, Cov, Forest, Cov. I think we're going to get a winner, guys. Cov. Cov. Only vote once, please, guys. Although I think we've got it. There we go. Well done, you lot. We've come to a consensus. Our team of the round is Coventry. Let's go to our... Let's go to our goal of the round. Same rules apply, guys. Please, please only vote for a player who plays for your club if you think they scored the best goal of the round. Not just because you love them and you want to hug them. So could you go for Nick Powell and his lob? Could you go for Martson and his drive for Coventry? What about Lewis Graben and his run and smash into the top corner? What about in that Blackpool game? No, nothing in there. Bournemouth, Sheffield United, not too sure. Hoylett, maybe. What about Malik Wilkes? That was a great goal for Hull. Could you go for that one? What about Sammy Smodic, first goal for Peterborough as well? That was a beauty. Anything in the QPR game? I'm struggling to remember. There you go. Right, so there's my short list, which you can ignore if you want. I'm going for either Matson, Graben, or Wilkes or Smodic. I think one of those four for me. Let's see if we can get a consensus in the chat. Right, here we go. Looks a bit convincing. It was. Well done, Coventry. Yeah. Right. Graben, Matson, Smodic, Graben, Matson, Graben, Matson. Matson or Wilkes, Matson, Graben, Matson. It's Matson so far. Matson, Powell, Graben, Powell, Matson, Graben. I think it's Matson just over Graben. But someone can go and count that and tell me if I'm wrong. But should we give it to Graben, being Coventry got team of the round as well? I don't know. You tell me. Someone go back and count them in the chat. Right. I would normally do some Q&A, but I've already gone 1 hour and 17 minutes, for Christ's sake. So we'll stop there. Guys, it's international break. So we will be live, less now, obviously, over the next week. I'll be able to relax a little bit. Those of you on Patreon, there'll be a Patreon round table tomorrow night. Come and join me if you are free. You can participate in the Patreon round table. Just let me know over on there. We've been doing Championship 365 on Tuesday. Again, that is behind the paywall, obviously. DM me on Twitter, Instagram. Give me ideas of videos you'd like to see. We can do some pre-records over this next week. And let me know, do I really need to do England versus Andorra? Do I need to, for goodness sake, on Saturday night? I don't know. You tell me. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you want a shout-out, let me know now, and I'll click them up in the advert. Thank you, everybody. It'll be a little bit quieter next week, but I'm sure someone will get fired or something ridiculous will happen. Someone will get deducted points, and we'll be here still. So maybe we'll be a little bit less live, but we will still be here. Right, let's do some shout-outs quickly. QPR, yes, see you tomorrow on the round table. Martson won, says Morgan. There you go. He's counted the votes. Thank you, David, Mark, Ben, too many Phils, Annie, Leeds. Take a break. What's one of them? Hey, Peter, give yourself a day off. Yeah, actually, to be fair, Alex, on Friday night, I've got to go to TN9, which I think is south of the M25, for a 4:30 arrive. So I'll be driving around the M25 at 2 o'clock on the Friday. I do not want to be driving around the M25 at 2 o'clock on the Friday. Cheers, Ben, Brereton, Diaz, mind the gap. Have a day off. There we go. Thank you, lot. Thank you, Ian Finley and Purple Bungalow. Right, it's a big over and out from me. Thank you for your input, and I will see you as soon as something happens. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload, ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.